I'd like to explain a typical process that we experience when we do a systems mapping process. So we start, this is the complexity, higher the complexity on this axis, and this is over time. So when we start with things we're familiar with, and we start mapping it out, this larger system and the interrelationship, and it gets more and more complex, right? What about this? What about that part? Double click on here, double click on that. So it gets more and more complex. And there will be a point where this dotted line shows our mental capacity. That is, our mind says, that is just too much. I cannot hold that. It's too complex for me. And what our natural tendency is actually saying, let's move back to where we are comfortable. So back to our silo thinking and action. The importance of this process and the collective discipline and cultivation that we want to have is we want to endure that process. We want to say let's continue this process. Let's keep on sensing that larger system, that complexity, knowing that once we see the larger whole that is relevant to our goal, there will be another process where we can start distill the core essence and the structure, right? the core drivers, the core structures, the levers that we can really pull as a collective. So we will synthesize, distill the core essence back down to where our mental capacity is comfortable. Then we reach strategic clarity. Ending up here is very different from ending up here, even though we're all in the comfortable zone. Here we have experienced that complexity, see the larger whole, and back down to the core essence, what we can work on and act together. So just having this in mind, holding this in our mind as we go through this process, that we will experience a zone of uncomfortableness and tension. Let's just hold that complexity together, cultivate that discipline, knowing that once we go through that, we will reach that clarity.